was a little bit mindful that after yesterday's game, I was maybe a little bit negative. And so I thought what I'd do is I'd sort of sleep on it, not pay any attention to it. So between me doing the last video after the game yesterday and now, I've not watched any West Ham stuff at all. I watched the boxing last night. Got up, took the dog for a walk, had a friend pop over with his son. Funny enough, a West Ham fan, but we didn't really talk about the game very much at all. So I've not been able to sort of digest and sort of filter out whether I was too negative or not, and I haven't really had anyone else's opinion of it. But what I can say is after a night's sleep, I'm still completely underwhelmed by it all. And I was a little bit cautious yesterday about... I think I was a little bit cautious about my wording with Niclas Füllkrug because I understand he's coming back from injury. But I did think he was crap. And that's the truth of the matter. And I think maybe I was just sort of diluting my words a little bit. Now, he would have an excuse. He would have some mitigation to be a little bit crap, really, wouldn't he? But not only was he crap, he just looks like he's really unsuited to us. And I sort of came to the conclusion watching that I just think West Ham need to make a decision on Lopetegui. And I think it is a back him or sack him. Back, sack or crack him. I really do think we should do that. And it's an easy thing to say, but I actually do mean it in the absolute literal sense of back him, buy players that are going to fit his system. I'd rather we didn't. I have to admit I've sort of given up on this season a little bit, which is why I was neither delighted nor angry. And I guess why would I be? It was a 1-1 draw. But as I say, even it's nice to have a little unbeaten run. But as I mentioned in yesterday's video, we're not convincing. I've not seen us really dominate anybody. And even getting the win against Wolves, had 19 shots. Bournemouth, that was the most shots that had ever happened for Bournemouth in a Premier League game or something like that. I can't even remember what the stat was. They had lots and lots of chances. It was backs to the wall stuff. It was pure Gandalf at the end. You shall not pass. And it was honestly... And it was exactly the same against Brighton. We're getting absolutely battered in a lot of these games, and we need VAR. I know it didn't go our way in terms of Kilman. We need VAR. We need goalkeeping heroics. We need. I mean, let's be fair. He almost got decapitated. I'm talking about Aaron Wan-Bissaka trying to stop that ball from going in the back of the net. We are relying on so much for us to stay in games, basically. 1 we've won against Wolves, 2 we've drawn. And so for me, I would get rid of Lopetegui because I just don't... I don't know if you saw... Did anyone see Match of the Day? I say I haven't taken anything, and I have. I watched the West Ham segment of Match of the Day. Why I watched that segment, I don't know. But it was quite interesting to hear... his name escapes me now, former Swansea defender. Was sat next to Alan Shearer, and... he was saying he just doesn't see the difference. And what they did was when they put up last season's stats and this season's stats. And I think that's important because it would show West Ham been on decline for some time. And I was pleased with that for the mainstream media because they would have you believe it was excellent last season and now we're crap. No, we were crap last season. It's just we had a European campaign to distract us. There was very little difference. I think we had a little bit more of the ball this season. Maybe we conceded a few more goals last season. But by and large, it was more or less the same. We were, if you like, equally crap. And I was pleased to hear him say it, actually. And for me, I just don't think, whatever... I think one thing is inaccurate in what he said. I'm struggling to think of his name. I really am. But you're all thinking, I know who it is, and you're typing... Is it Ashley? Anyway, whatever. You know the guy I mean. Played for Swansea, played for Wales, centre-back. And when he turned around, he said West Ham changed to get a better style of football. I think it's an oversimplistic view. And I thought there were 5 main key reasons to switch from David Moyes. And so that's that. I'm not going to repeat them now. But even if that was it, I think he made a good point, which was it's not worked. For that reason, I would get rid of Lopetegui. I really would. I think all we're doing now is marking out time until the end of the season. Honestly, I think we're doing just enough. You know, we're that car that's not really working very well, but you know you're going to sell it at the end of the year. By the way, I've not done this. I've bought a few of them, so you don't get all the repairs done. And I think that's what we are. We're a team in disrepair, and it's not functioning. There's so many component parts that don't fit what Lopetegui is going to do. So I would get rid of him. However, if you're going to back him, you need to get him a striker that's going to fit his system. You're probably going to need to get him fullbacks that are going to fit his system. Now, what I would say is Aaron Wan-Bissaka is probably not precisely what he wants, but he's doing a pretty damn good job of being a bloody good player. As I've said, I think I don't think he is. He is my favourite signing of the summer. Left back, I've been thinking it for quite some time. It wasn't just the fact that Emerson couldn't be arsed yesterday and basically strolled back after losing possession. I don't think he suits Lopetegui. At his best, and I think we actually might have seen his best for not this season, but the last season and a half before that, particularly when he was linking up with Paqueta. So good. Really, really, really good. But for now, he's not. It's funny, if you'd have asked who's the most attacking of our fullbacks at the start of the season, you'd have said, well, Emerson's the attacking one and Aaron Wan-Bissaka's the defensive one. Aaron Wan-Bissaka's got a couple of goals. It was him. Okay, I mean, can we call it an assist because he won the penalty with a cross and a handball? It's him. He's the threatening one. He's the one that is threatening the opposition. So he's the better defender and the better attacker. And I've said it a few times this season. He is our best right back and our best left back. And I'm not putting all. I'm not saying Emerson's been a bad signing. I think for 13 million or whatever we paid, I think we've had really good value out of him. I really do. But there's rumours that he might be interested to move to Juventus. Juventus want him. Let him go. I know he's not. I know he originally was a right back, and he was one of the ones that we were trying to get, which was Kyle Walker-Peters. But he's out of contract at the end of the season. He's going to walk away for nothing anyway. I think Southampton would take 5 million now for him, so I think we should go and just get him. He can also play left. I've seen him play on the left plenty of times this season. So we'd have a couple of fullbacks who can play right or left. I'd just do it. I think we've got to get Lopetegui the striker he wants. This is if we're going to keep him, right? And I think you've got to sort out midfield. I do think we missed Carlos Soler. I do, but I don't want to make the case that Carlos Soler would have made all the difference yesterday because we're still coming under the cosh and really struggling in games even when Soler was there. So Soler was there for Bournemouth, Soler was there for Wolves. We still come under the cosh. To be fair, one of them he came off after about 55 minutes and then we came under the cosh. But I just look at West Ham and I think, wow, we really are still in transition. And I can see it from the number of personnel that don't fit the system. But I can also see it from the stat that was put up on the screen when Match of the Day did their West Ham United segment. And it was really clear it was already broken. So actually, you know what? That probably does give a little bit of substance to the suggestion that it would take him a long time. There was a bigger rebuild was needed than we expected. And I think that probably is the case. I don't think it should take as long as it's taken now, which is why I'll get rid of him. And I certainly, you look at how well, I mean, it's not taken Nuno at Forest ages, as it ends. Let's be fair. He's got them singing to his tune pretty damn quickly. And he plays totally different style to what Cooper played. So there's been the same switch of style. Maybe not the same change around of personnel, but nonetheless. And this is what I'm talking about. We got this sort of halfway house. I don't believe that Lopetegui's tactics can thrive in the Premier League at all. But take me out of it. If you believe that Lopetegui's tactics can thrive and we're just waiting for a bit of time and actually, because at the moment I'd take top 10. I've forgotten all about Europe. I don't even think we get top 10, right? But if you're a believer, you're not a cynical, grumpy old a grinchy like me, and you believe that Lopetegui can make it work, and if you believe that actually it's going to click into place and what his plan is to reach the promised land will work, and let's go with what you think on that for a moment, he's not going to be able to do it with the players that he has. He's going to need backing. I just don't know what the deal is with Füllkrug. It's one of these ones that I'd say sometimes I'd like to be proven wrong. I'd like to see him, maybe start the game and you find him more central and he does well against Southampton. But that's not going to be a barometer. I would expect to beat Southampton. I mean, their points tally in the Premier League is abysmal. It's absolutely atrocious. You have to beat them, and we will beat them. But I think if he loses, even Lopetegui loses to Southampton, I think he's fine. I think Lopetegui's safe until the end of the season for exactly the same reason that I said. I think probably only one or two things can be true. Either they know it's broken and they're going towards the end of the season, or the board have faith that he is going to turn it around. But what is turn it around? I mean, turn it around might be now. 14th might be turn it around. 14th might be perfectly fine. And if that's the case, then I think we're going to have to readjust to the fact that this is where we are and things have changed and we've had a little bit of success and maybe, just maybe, that team reached. Let's say maybe about it. That team reached its peak in Prague and then started to crumble. Mohamed Kudus, it was a stall. It was his stall. It was a Ghanaian chair or stall with a lovely carving of an elephant on it. And he said, I brought that specially. So now we know. I didn't know yesterday. He did bring his own chair to the match. Excellent. Kudus said we're getting there slowly. I don't think we are. I just don't think we are. Too many heroics required from too many people for us to get a point, and I don't. It's easy to say it, and I stopped myself from saying it in yesterday's review because I thought I sounded a little bit too grumpy. But I thought, you know what, with a night's sleep, maybe I just care less today. I didn't think Brighton were very good, and I know it's sort of heresy to say that. Really, I just didn't think they were very good. But by the time he started making switches and just bringing on all these quick players, I just think they were just tearing us apart at the end. I've little doubt had that a game had another 5 minutes, then they would have scored. I mean, they had two big chances on 93 minutes, a massive chance on 95 minutes, and then the game was over. He played 96 minutes. Honestly, another 5 minutes in that game, they win that. We were knackered. We were exhausted, which is another thing that they're going to need to address, the lack of energy. Here's the thing. Here's the thing with that. I think that the board and Lopetegui know they need another striker. I'm not convinced they've noticed we have a low-energy midfield and we're getting it. I'm sure I can see stats that would suggest maybe we're outrun, but maybe someone like Souček keeps those stats high because he puts such an effort in. But I mean, in terms of raw athleticism and pace and then fitness, where so many players just look knackered by the end of it. Have you seen I don't know if you've seen the videos that come out from the training ground, and I'm sure there's a sports scientist or a fitness coach who would be able to explain what this is. But they have these elastic bands around them, the players. So they have elastic bands sort of around their waist, and the elastic band is sort of tied to a fence or a pole, and it's you got to run away, and the elastic band pulls you back. I call it the Acme elastic band. Reminds me of watching, like a cartoon like Roadrunner or Wile E. Coyote. Boing, I don't think it's working. I'm saying is I don't think the elastic band treatment is necessarily doing. I'm not sure what it's meant to do, but we do not look like a fit team, which is a shame because there was a game not too long ago where we had the second highest running stats, possibly behind Tottenham, which have been posted in the Premier League all season. We get these little glimmers here or there, but there's no consistency to any of it. So, back him, sack him, or crack him.